So I've been fat pretty much my entire life. By 90 standards, Elaine Bryant. We didn't have the convenience that the market has today. Also, this is probably my last video on TikTok because it's going away at midnight tonight. I never really believe these things till they happen, but I got some things to say. My first diet was the Richard Simmons VHS tapes, just to outdate myself. I am in my 40s. After that, I was getting those pills online, the ones that essentially became banned by the FDA. I would do anything but change the way I eat. I really wanted to have both worlds where I can eat whatever I want and lose weight. That felt fair. Plus, that's what I've always been told. When I go see a doctor, I'm told I needed to eat a little less and move a little bit more, and that would solve my problems. When I moved to the UK, I started to balloon in weight, which I didn't understand because I walked a lot more. But I also started drinking. I was definitely eating nothing but convenience foods. I remember when I was 19 years old, the first time I saw stretch marks start to form on my stomach, and I said to myself, this is what happens when you're 19 years old. Like, that's how delusional I was. That is how tight the blinders were on. My weight ballooned all the way up to just shy under 299. I'm sure it was in the threes at a certain point, but I wasn't checking. And that happened over about 15 years. It was a long, slow crawl there. I continued to diet, and when I would diet, this is the arrangement. I joined the gym. That was the first thing I did. And then I cleaned out the refrigerator, and I spent a couple $100s on food. 2 weeks later, molded spinach in the back of the fridge, and now a gym contract that's going to end up in collections because I stopped paying it. That was my routine. When I got introduced to weight loss surgery, first off, I wasn't looking for it. I went in to see a doctor about my liver because I was recently sober and I was concerned about the damage I'd done. I'm a recovering alcoholic drug addict. And I left with a referral for bariatric surgery. I was slightly offended because I didn't want to change that part of my life yet. And as far as I was concerned, it was once again because I was just not back in the gym and I hadn't recently cleaned out the fridge, and that's where the problem lied. When I got in Alcoholics Anonymous, I started to explore the idea that bariatric surgery might actually work if I could treat it the same way I treated my alcoholism, which seemed to be successful in that I quit drinking and my life was coming together. Well, I had to commit to myself in the same way I did with my drinking, which is that, listen, I can't have fast food. Like, I love it and I can't. And I got to do things differently because it's been explained to me that bariatric surgery is like the last house on the block. So there's no other options. If I don't figure this one out, I'll be screwed. So I made an oath to myself, or whatever you want to say, that I wouldn't have fast foods in surgery, and I haven't since. After that, I came on TikTok around this time 2 years ago, and I started making videos about food addiction and bariatric surgery. I didn't know that the general census in the bariatric community was to have surgery and have small portions of the same types of foods that contributed to their problems. And frankly, I loved it because I was like, this is my MO, man. You mean I can't have my cake and eat it too? Let's party hard. I was having protein shakes and protein bars like the rest of them. Later on, almost up to my 1 year, I realized that I was still very, very hungry when I drank those, specifically the water ones, like the Mios and Crystal Ice. And that became super concerning to me. I thought, well, maybe this is just like my hunger cues turning back on, but something didn't seem right. And I picked up some books. One of the books I picked up is Fat Chance by Dr. Robert Lustig, and the other one was A Pound of Cure by Dr. Weiner. And I discovered some stuff about obesity that no damn doctor ever told me when they were sitting around telling me to eat a little less and move a little bit more. It was far complicated than that. And so I thought, well, I should probably kick those out of my diet, which I did. And shortly after that, people started asking me for help. And I was quite surprised by that because I'm a nobody. As far as I'm concerned, I had a regular job, and I'm not a coach. Like, I have no background in this. I went to school, got a certification in nutrition coaching, which doesn't talk about bariatric surgery at all. In fact, most of these things don't. And I decided that I was just going to do this the chenille way, which was teach people to make a healthy version of themselves and act like it, because that's literally what I had to do. And in that time, things have wildly taken off. We have a total of 3 coaches here. Thousands of people we helped last year, and this year we're going to be getting referred into the American Metabolic and American Society of Bariatric and Metabolic Association. We are partnering up with bariatric doctors. We're going to be an offer into some of the post-op cares, like all these crazy things that like little old me could have never guessed that happened. And part of it's because I come on a platform and I talk about things in a way that most people aren't used to hearing them. Because you can come on this platform and it's a QVC channel for a dream that I've already been sold that never came true, which is I could eat whatever I want and still lose weight. So I found a little cool community of people who felt the need to also make that big change. That big change doesn't happen to everybody. I mean, alcoholics all the time who aren't going to get sober. I mean, people have weight loss surgery and aren't going to change the way they eat. I'm not really here to dictate it, but I most certainly can use my corner to educate and talk about the subject. It's ironic that like 2 years later, as I get off this platform, that other creators are spending their last few hours making sure that other people know that I'm a complete Looney Tune. And for some, I most certainly sound like a complete Looney Tune. That says something about this entire journey. That a lot of people have this surgery and they continue to sell the pipe dream that they were sold. And they know it doesn't work. Like, if you want guaranteed success, the pathway is to let go of the food. Like, ultra-processed food addiction, which I think is how it'll be recognized in the DSM-5, is a problem. Like, if you can't make it a day without sugar or artificial sweeteners in your coffee, that's not normal. Like, if you can't make it throughout the day without eating a candy bar that just happens to have added protein, that's not normal stuff. Like, if that pull and desire is there, if you feel so compassionate about it that you have to dedicate your platform, and especially in these final hours on TikTok, to talking about it and how wrong I am about it and how it offends you, okay, it offends you. But your guys' crap has offended me since the day I decided that I didn't want to eat like that. And every time I open this platform, that's all I see. That's all I see. And if I wanted to be popular, I would make a Profi video and sell you guys devotion powder. It's really easy to do. I'm not here to be popular. I'm here to change people's lives. And that part I've accomplished and I'm going to continue to accomplish while I'm in the middle of studying in functional nutrition with dreams of going back to school to be an endocrinologist. Like, I'm going to keep teaching people what actually happens when you're overweight, how you can actually change your life, and that is not just your problem. You did not get stuck at eating a little less and moving a little bit more and didn't figure out the macros. You're eating foods that contribute to your inflammation. You're eating foods that contribute to your autoimmune disorders. And until somebody has the goals to tell you to maybe look into an alternative, like not eating those types of foods, it's going to continue to happen. So my message to anyone who's made it this far, you have done enough research on yourself to know what works. And if you know that you can maintain eating certain things, kudos to you. I'm mad jealous. But if you know that you are struggling, know that there's another option, and you don't need to compare yourself to people with large platforms as if their success is the only type of way to be successful. And another thing I've come to learn is that people don't say things to me. They say things for themselves. You can be contempt prior to investigation, which is one of my favorite lines in Alcoholics Anonymous. And you can assume that what I do is just sheer crazy. Or, just like our community program is called, The Experiment, you can try it out yourself and see if you feel different and think different simply by not eating those types of foods. You might be the kind of person who changes their entire life by trying something, just one thing you've never done before. So I will see you guys on the other platforms. I'm on Facebook, Shinyo Copleen. We've had an immense surge of people wanting to join our Facebook group that's free, Bariatric Rewrite private group. I post recipes in there every day. They're now currently in the album, so it's easy for you to just find them. And we have a free workshop next Wednesday called How to Be a Bariatric Success Story, where we do talk about transitioning to whole foods, reading labels, when to start working out, all of the fun things. And I'm also on Instagram, which I don't really use, but it's the Bariatric Rewrite there. So TikTok, it's been a good time. I thank this platform a lot because I wouldn't have gotten where I am right now. And for the rest of you guys out there, maybe if we eat different, we might think different.